Hello, Ms. Bell's Algebra 2. This is November 30th. I'm taking a look at the linear test review, and I just want to go over some of these with you as you're going along, reviewing for this test that's coming up soon. So let's get after it. And I want you to listen and kind of, you'll write. I'm not going to write down the answers. I want you to, so doing something a little different, just going to walk you through this. So we're to find the slope of each line. So remember, this is going down, so we're going to have a negative slope here just right off the bat. You should know it's negative. And then we're going to pick a couple points where it intersects perfectly on the graph. Notice it doesn't intersect perfectly on the graph, it goes through a perfect intersection. And then you're just going to count. Remember, it's rise over the run. So this is going down 2 over 1. So you're going to have a negative, and it's going to be down 2 over 1. Any number over 1 is just going to be itself. So you're going to want to show that for number 1. For number 2, when you're looking at a straight up and down vertical line, you're going to call that undefined. You can't really define it as going as sloping up or sloping down, so it's just a vertical line, so that's going to be undefined. Any number or any graph that is flat and horizontal like this, that is going to be no slope. That's a zero slope. It's not going up or down. This one, remember, we're always reading from left to right. So from left to right, we are going to be going up. So think of it, if you're to write your name, as you write your name, like I write my name, I'm going up. So, and I'd say write your name because you go from left to right when you write your name. If I was to write on this one, it's going down. So that's just a little way to remember how to read graphs, because some people, for some reason, read them backwards. And so we want to go, so this is a positive slope because it's going up, and pick a couple perfect intersections. And just to help you out, notice that this one goes up, the rise is up 1, and then the run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the rise over the run is up 1 over 6 on this one. So finding the slope of the line through each pair of points, use the slope formula. I'm going to just give you the slope formula here. It's y squared minus y1 over x, not squared, I'm sorry. The second y minus the second, or the first y, and the second x minus the first x. Okay, so the rise and run over, or I'm sorry, the rise over the run. So the rise is going to be your y value, and the run is going to be the x value. So that's why you have your y's up here and your x's, and this just keeps it in order. So if I can help you out, this is my first x and y, and this is my second x and y. Okay, so I'm going to take my -7 minus 9 and my -11 minus 15 for that first, the y's first. Okay, so you're going to put it like this: -11 minus 15 and -7 minus 9. Okay, and then just work that out, and you can simplify the fractions whenever you can. This is my x1, this is my y1, this is my x2, this is my y2. So you're going to take 18 minus a -3 becomes 18 plus 3. And I have -12 minus a negative becomes a plus 14. Okay? All right. Find the slope of each line, and we have a hint. Y equals mx plus b form first. This is where the slope is. Okay? So you got to put this in slope-intercept form. So what you want to do with this one is you want to subtract 3x from both sides. Okay? So subtract 3x from both sides, and then you'll be able to quickly see your slope. This one, you're going to want to subtract x from both sides and then divide everything by 2 because you have this 2 times y. All right, maybe you need to pause that and rewind that and listen to that again. Okay, but you're going to subtract x from both sides, and then you're going, and so that would look like this. I subtracted an x, subtract x, subtract x. This cancels out. So I have 2y equals a negative x minus 2. Always put the, you know, the x stuff first because you got to put it in this form anyways, instead of putting it behind the negative 2. So, and then you're going to divide everything by 2. So this is, remember, this is like the 1 here, a negative 1. So it's going to be a negative 1/2. And then negative 2 divided by 2 is just negative 1. And that's how you're going to get rid of that 2 with that y. Okay, and then just look for the number right before the x value, like you did in here, and that's going to be your slope. Okay, for these, we are just supposed to sketch the graph. So you go to where y equals 1, and no matter what, y equals 1, that's going to be right here. It's going to be a no slope, all right? For number 10, I go to the y-intercept, so I go to where the y-intercept is +1. And then I'm going down 3 over 4 because it's a negative 3/4 slope. So I start where the y-intercept is and I go down 3, 1, 2, 3. I have a point here, I go down 1, 2, 3, and then I go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I put another point there, and then I connect those points. Okay, this one I gotta get y by itself on one side. So make sure you're doing that. You're going to have a negative y equals a, and I should just write this, negative y equals a negative x plus 2. And if I change the sign here, because I don't want to know what negative y is, I want to know what positive y is, I'm going to get rid of I'm going to change the sign. Change the sign here, that changes this sign, that changes that sign. Okay? So you're going to have a negative 2, so you're going to start at negative 2, and you're going to have a slope of a positive 1. So just go up 1 over 1 and put a point there, up 1 over 1, put a point there, and just connect those points. This is going to be an undefined. You go to where x is 3 and always equals 3, so you're going to go up and down like that, right here where x is 3. This one you have to get the y by itself on one side, so if I get you started on this, you're going to have this happen, and then you're going to divide everything by negative 2, okay? And then you'll be able to see your slope, and you'll be able to see your y-intercept. Okay, this one, same thing, gotta get the y by itself on one side, because it says to make sure it's in y equals mx plus b form. So we're gonna do that. We're going to go with 5y equals negative 4x minus 15. I just subtracted 4x from both sides, and then you're going to divide everything by 5. Okay, so this will give you your y-intercept, which would actually be negative 3, and then you're going to go down 4 over 5. And if you can't fit it on here, you can go up 4, back 5, because from that point it's going to be down 4 over 5 to the next point. It's a down slope on that one. Next one, it's going to be a long video. X-intercept, y-intercept. The x-intercept, here we have a 2. The y-intercept is negative 4. So you just plot those points on the x and on the y, and then you connect those points. Number 16, x, I put a point there, y-intercept, positive 3 there, and I just connect those points. Find the x and y intercepts of each equation. This is where you plug in 0 for the variable, see where the line crosses. So I just kind of block it out. So you're gonna have 2x equals negative 1, and then you're just gonna solve. You're gonna divide both sides by 2. Okay, and that will give you x by itself. Okay, and then y, when x is 0, notice when I block out the x, I get y equals negative 1. That is your your y-intercept right there. Okay, this one is going to be, you're going to solve for 4x equals negative 12. Just divide both sides by 4. That will give you your x-intercept. 3, and then you're going to do 3y equals negative 12. That's if x equals 0. You're going to find out the y-intercept. And so you're just going to divide both sides by a 3. Okay, this, all you're going to do is put the slope on both of these. Just put the slope right here, slope, and put the y-intercept right here. These are very easy. Okay. Here we're to write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. Slope m and y-intercept b, and plug into y equals mx plus b. Okay, so first of all, the slope on this one, if you go point to point to point, so your slope is going to be, it's going down, so it's negative 1. Okay, and I can give you that, and then you could just, you know, write it in this form. So that's negative 1, and the y-intercept, or the b, is negative 3. Okay, and then just put that in slope-intercept form. Okay, this one, the easiest thing to find actually is the y-intercept, so the b is negative 3 also. But then from this point to this point is up 2 over 3. So m is 2 over 3. So I'm going up 2 over 3. The slope on this one, point to point, is going down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. And my y-intercept is 0, so I really don't have to put anything for the y-intercept. And here, going this point to this point, my slope is up 2 over 1. And that could just equal a 2. And my y-intercept, this is a plus 1. That's a 1. So take these and put them into slope-intercept form. These are not the answers. You have to put them in slope-intercept form. You're writing the equation of a line. Okay. So the height and weight of adults can be related by the equation y equals this, where x is the height in feet and y is the weight in pounds. What does the slope of the line represent? So, you know, really think about this one. The slope of the line is going to be that 49.3. Okay. So that 49.3, if I were to first, you know, put a number in for x, that represents the height. So each height, you know, is going to be, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a height in feet. So it's each foot that goes with the slope. So you got to think about it. So that means that it's the number of pounds heavier an adult 1 foot taller would weigh. So each foot that you put in here, these are the pounds heavier that that person's going to weigh with each foot that they grow, each foot that we add to this x in height in feet. Okay. All right. This one, the weight of an adult at 0 feet tall, that's going to be the y-intercept. That would be the y-intercept. That's what that would represent. Kind of weird, but so don't get those confused. For number 26, the number of marriage licenses issued by Clark County, Nevada, the county where Las Vegas is located, has been decreasing since the year 2000. It can be modeled by this formula, where X is the year and Y is the number of marriage licenses issued. What does the y-intercept of this function represent? So if you're thinking about it, the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So, you know, it'd be up here somewhere because it's a decreasing. So the x is the year. These are the years. So this x value is going to be at 0. So your y-intercept is going to represent the number of marriage licenses issued in the year 0. So if we all the way go back to year 0, which, you know, kind of weird to think about, but that's what that line represents, okay? Or that interception, that intercept, the y-intercept, what it represents. Okay, the cost of a flight is related to the length of the flight by this amount here, and I'm just going to move over to this paper right here. So using this model, what would be the cost of a flight that travels 525 miles, and round your answer to the nearest dollar? So you're going to use this formula right here, and all you're going to do is plug in the 525. For the next one, you're going to plug in the 3,000, okay, and then round to the nearest dollar. For 28, you have a flight, and you have this formula that you're using where X is the distance and Y is the cost in dollars. You're given the Y, you're given the cost in dollars. So you want to know how many miles does that relate to. So you're going to use this. The 81 goes in for Y, and you're to solve for X. And that's it. If you need more help on this, please let me know. I know answers are coming from Ms. Bell shortly, and so you'll get those, but I wanted to explain them before you just got answers. Thanks.